Welcome back, True Seeker. The Daytona 500 this year took place February 19th and did talk about it the day of, but I talked about it in a longer live stream that covered several news stories. And since making that video, there's been, the morons of the internet putting out videos like, oh, Gematria got proven wrong with the Daytona 500. And again, the people who make these videos are either completely inept or they work for the people who rig the sports that so many people are distracted by. And every year I'm saying the same thing about the Daytona 500. It is synced up with the Super Bowl. Every year they're doing a similar ritual in the Super Bowl as they are with the Daytona 500. And this year the Super Bowl was on the date February 12th, 212. This year we had a record 212 laps at the Daytona 500, won by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 212. And by the way, if you joined me on the Patreon live stream, you did see that there were only two drivers in the race whose name equaled 212. It was the favored driver and Ricky Stenhouse, who paid over 30-1. And congrats to at least the three people in my live stream. There's only about 50 people who watch the NASCAR live stream. They say NASCAR is the most watched sport, but it's definitely not the most decoded sport. But a lot more people, for example, care about the NFL. But anyhow, I got two tips for the information I put out, and another guy said he bet $3.50 on Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and won over 100. And again, just like I teach people, follow the patterns, use your own mind, and for those who did, they won. Ricky Stenhouse, smart bet, $5 would have paid you between $150 and $175, but he was one of two drivers whose name equaled 212, which we knew was a number that could be lucrative in light of the Super Bowl falling on 212, and there's a lot more to say about that number. But then again, Super Bowl 57 on 212. Brad Doherty is the owner of the Ricky Stenhouse Jr. racing team. It's Doherty Racing. And guess how old Brad Doherty, the former Cleveland Cavalier, is? 57 years old. And what was the big narrative with Super Bowl 57 on Abe Lincoln's birthday, who freed the slaves? Never mind, Abe Lincoln equals 57 in Gematria. It was the first time ever we had two black starting quarterbacks. So in the Daytona 500, you get the first ever black owner winning at age 57. As year after year, we document the same thing, how the Daytona ritual is very similar to the Super Bowl ritual. Of course, they're one Sunday apart. But yeah, these are the kind of videos that get uploaded, and in a way I'm like, how dumb are these people? Here, I want you to listen to this guy right here. I want you to listen to literally how dumb this guy is, because he's saying Gematria exposed, and I don't even know who he's calling out, because the driver that didn't win that he thought would win isn't really anyone. I didn't hear anybody really promoting this driver that he's talking about. But if you listen to how dumb this guy is, he's actually proving the point that the races are rigged by the numbers. So listen to a moron, and this man represents America, you guys. If you haven't figured it out, America is a nation of morons. How can anybody be piling into a sports stadium in 2023 when it couldn't be any more obvious how rigged the games are? It's because it's a society of morons. And here, let's listen to one of them in their own words. This is Sifu Smo, which to me is also the name, seemingly, of a moron. So here's Smo.
Check this out, dog. Sifu Smo here from Smo's Manku Notes, my expression martial art. I just want to say this. I just found further proof and evidence that Gematria really doesn't work when it comes to professional sports and all that. I was watching the Daytona 500 earlier, right? And something stood out to me that this announcer said, right? Before the race started. You say, well, why are you watching on the NASCAR Daytona 500? Well, I have a deep respect for it because I used to race in the NASCAR Sprint Series in Japan 10 years ago. So I know how the business works, and I have a deep respect for the drivers, because I've driven before, and it's a tough sport, right? Anyway, before the race started, right, I heard an announcer talk about this driver named Martin Truex Jr., right? He drives the number 19 car. Now, this announcer said, now, if you guys are into any numerology, Martin Truex Jr. drives the number 19 car in his 19th season on February 19th in his 19th season, right? Now, I guarantee all you idiots went and bet all your paycheck on Martin Truex Jr. to win the Daytona 500. And he lost. And here's the kicker, right? Not only did he lose, and they fooled you, Gematria folk, he caused a crash on the 19th lap, right?
And then he takes a drink. I mean, like, literally, how big of a fucking retard? Can't even speak, right? Can't even speak. Not only did he laugh, the word is lose, dumb motherfucker. Not only did he lose, but what did you just explain? Yeah, they just spelled out a numerology ritual, and then in this huge 19, he crashes on the 19th lap. And hey, fucking retard, what have we been educating about the number 19 for a million fucking times? That it's the number of chaos. Doesn't a crash kind of fit in with chaos? Isn't that exactly how we predicted the COVID pandemic before it even happened, saying that 2020 would be the next big order out of chaos agenda coming 19 years after 9/11 and the 19 hijackers because these people work by the 19-year cycle of the moon? Yeah, I mean, this is what all of my critics are, just fucking retards. Gematria exposed. It's like, well, in a way, actually, you're supporting exactly what we're making the point about, that it is all rigged by the numbers. But also, it's like, who took Martin Truex Jr.? I mean, again, use your mind, follow my advice, look into Gematria, and again, next year when Super Bowl 58 comes around, pay attention to the themes, the numbers that are in the game, and you'll see how they manifest in the Daytona 500 the next week. And for the record, the team that I was looking at, the bet that I advised for NASCAR, if you were only going to make one bet, but again, I told people, I said, do the math, use your own mind, look for what you think is the best ritual with connecting the Super Bowl. There were 4 drivers for Team Gibbs Racing, and they also had the Super Bowl 57 numbers. So I thought the smartest bet was just to take that team, which paid 5-1. Again, had you bet on that, had you put down another $5 hedge bet on Ricky Stenson Jr., you would have won over 150 on Stenson. But anyway, and people did in the community who took the advice. But part of the reason that I thought Gibbs Racing had the best narrative, their star driver also drives for Toyota, which was established in 57. Plus, it was Team 50 on the 50th day of the year. But anyway, recall the death of Coy Gibbs, who connects NASCAR and the NFL because the Gibbs family is connected to NASCAR and the NFL, right? But recall when we talked about his death. And by the way, his son made his debut at this year's Daytona 500, but he died on the day leaving 56 days left in the year, NASCAR 56, and he died exactly 106 days before the Daytona 500. So, I was leaning more towards Gibbs Racing. But again, morons like this who are like, Gematria exposed. It's just like, these people are so fucking dumb. It's just unbelievable how dumb they are. And then the little fruitcake that looks like an inbred mafioso, he puts out a video that I was completely wrong. It's like, in what world am I completely wrong? I said the numbers would go with the Super Bowl. It would be rigged with the Super Bowl again. And it absolutely was. So it's like, the main point of my work is learn Gematria to see how sports are rigged. Watch how the rituals manifest from one league to the next. And do look at how people are ritually sacrificed for these things. And it's not like Gibbs Team Racing did bad. You know the powerful relationship with 3 and 56 that we talk about all the time? The best member of Gibbs Racing finished in 3rd place, go figure, after losing the other Gibbs on the day leaving 56 days left in the year. And if you're new here and you don't know about 3 and 56, again, there's examples of it all the time, but if you spell out 3, it's 56, like Abrahamic is 56, like light is 56, and where all those things fit together, 3, Abrahamic, and light, is in Genesis 1:3. The Abrahamic religions are based in Genesis. There's 3 Abrahamic religions. God makes light in Genesis 1:3. So, again, the whole code's biblical. The Jesuits gave us the Bible as we know it. The Jesuits control this world, including its sports leagues. and that's why all these rituals are picture perfect, year in and year out. So, again, congrats to the people who did use their own mind and hit on Ricky Stenson at over 30-1 odds. We have a long list of doing that in this community, from golf tournaments to NASCAR to season futures. And I don't see anyone else in the world that's producing the kind of results that we do year in and year out. And again, just day after day, too. It's just like, a lot of people this past weekend, we were pretty much perfect in the NBA on Sunday. A lot of people hit 5-16 parlays on Sunday. Those are huge payouts. So, anyhow, anyone who denounces Gematria, probably a fucking retard. Like this guy right here. Can't even speak, doesn't have proper grammar. What's he drinking? Some aluminum. People who drink out of aluminum cans. Sarah, I know probably a lot of you do, but that would be something to stop doing in your life. You want to know why there's so much Alzheimer's and, memory loss in this nation? It's because of that right there. All sorts of research out there that shows that a lot of Americans have a lot of aluminum in their brain, which cuts off the circuits and, end up having all these. Look at most of them. Most of them don't even have a good memory. It's like they have amnesia at age 30. But aluminum is toxic. And I don't know what he's drinking there. I don't know what that beverage is. But you can tell, not doing wonders for him. Poor grammar, can't speak, no logic, complete fucking retard. So, figure out who you are. People who get Gematria. There are dumb people in this community too who find the knowledge and do the dumbest decodes there ever was, but by and large, the people who are denouncing the work, you can't find an IQ point amongst any of them. So, just wanted to recap that, and yeah, we'll keep this one short and sweet. Congrats to the winners. Use your own mind. You can become one of them. Till next time.